starting recording. Today is the 2nd of March. Are you okay, girls?
Okay.
Yes, okay. Okay, let's start from where we arrived last time. That was here, if I'm not getting wrong.
Yeah.
And you were supposed to finish this one. Is that
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Okay. Did you manage to do it?
Some points were simpler than
Foggy.
others.
Yes, and some they were quite foggy.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just districate and trying to find out everything. Okay, let's do it together. Okay, the office manager doesn't of staff wearing jeans to work. What did you put?
B.
Approve. And you?
Prove too.
Yeah,
Yes.
so that's okay. Approve is just the one that is
Okay.
correct. Okay, number 2. Give me your,
B. Guilty.
you say guilty, and you, Ross?
Yes, I said the same, but I see the answer. I
That
saw
is
the
C.
answer.
Yeah, that
So,
is C.
but I put in firstly B. Guilty.
Actually, yes, witnesses say the lorry driver was responsible for the accident. You are not guilty for. The problem is this for. You are guilty, but not for. If you have to be, if for is just responsible for the accident.
Okay.
Okay, so you cannot be guilty for the accident. So that's even the grammar part why you have to choose C and not B, even if the meaning seems similar. Number 3, what do you put?
B.
I put famous.
Famous is correct. Yes.
Originally.
Yes. Yes, give me your original, because then the correction, of course, I'm telling you why you're making some mistakes. Okay, if you do. Okay, 4.
A.
A. Ross?
I put greedy.
No, it's not greedy, it's jealous. Greedy, you know, is something that usually, of course, is strongly connected with food, greedy. But not just with food, because you can be greedy even with money, for example, avido.
Yes. Okay.
But in this case, sadly, there are always a few who are jealous. You are not, non sei avido dei successi degli altri, ma sei geloso. Even in Italian it's the same. So this greedy is just avido, goloso nel senso di avido, but it's
Ingordo.
Ingordo, yes, negative, so it's a negative one. 5.
But really, I didn't know the
meaning.
The meaning of greedy.
Okay, so that's
I
fine.
guess.
So now you know it. That's perfect. That's why the exercise is. Okay.
I tried to search it in the vocabulary.
Okay, in the dictionary you find out what?
No.
Oh, you mean greedy?
I
Yes.
understood something. I understood some terms and not.
Yes, but
others.
you know, to do an exercise like this is just like a research work. You are researching, you know, when you are doing research, it's the same here, because it's not just an exercise, it's a research. So you're just activating a part of your brain that usually is not working in the same way. Okay, because they are, of course, they are activating the English part of your brain. Okay, so number 5, what do you put? Nathan, about Nathan?
C.
C.
Yes, it is C. It is C, specializing. Okay, very good. Number 6.
I put succeed.
Succeeded.
Succeeded. No.
Okay.
D, yes.
Yeah,
Me
good.
too.
It's important here because it succeeded in. Okay,
Mm.
finally succeeded in passing his driving test. And then anyway is the only one that is correct because you succeed in passing a driving test. You're not managed, you don't achieve, you don't fulfilled. Even
But
though they are very similar, but fulfilled means complete
yeah.
something.
Completare. Okay.
Manage means organize,
Mhm.
and achieved means reach something.
Something.
So you achieved your goal in passing your driving test,
Yeah.
but you're not finally achieved in passing. Okay, good. 7.
I put A.
But,
Yes.
but the foggy one.
That's the foggiest one. You know, in English, there's a way they say, when you say that you don't know at all what to do, you say, I haven't the foggiest idea.
Yes.
That is very, you know,
I haven't.
I haven't the foggiest
Okay.
idea.
The foggiest.
The foggiest, non ho la più nebbiosa idea.
Foggiest.
Foggiest, foggiest. I haven't the foggiest idea. Okay, so
Yeah.
as you hadn't the foggiest idea here, Clara's younger sister, you put
Insisted.
insisted on going with her to the party. So insisted was okay. Requested ongoing is just because you have this ongoing. Required and demanded, we couldn't put ongoing because they could be all correct, but we had to change these following words. For example, Clara's younger sister requested her to go to the party.
Okay.
Or Clara's younger sister required her to go to the party. Clara's younger sister demanded her. They don't want anything after. So no preposition, not at all. But in this case, insisted on going with her to the party because you insisted on doing something. It's just we have the preposition insistere nel fare qualcosa. Okay, it's the same. 8. What do you put with 8?
B.
B is okay.
B.
Based on a true
Showing
story.
that we are
Yeah,
based
this one you sometimes you see that. Based on
Yeah,
a true story.
based on.
Even at the end of the film,
See.
you read this
Yeah.
is based on a true story. Okay. 9.
D. But
D.
I tried to search cheerful because I didn't know.
Okay.
Or glad because it sounds me better with glad. But finally I choose satisfied.
And satisfied is the right one.
Okay.
So Isabel isn't a greedy person. She's satisfied with what she already has. Okay, you're not cheerful with one because you have to understand the meaning. This is very important, the first part of the sentence, because it's just explaining you the opposite meanings. She's not this because she's in this other way. So she's satisfied with everything. So be careful to understand everything it's in the sentence, even the part of the sentence that you think is not important, but if it's there, it's important, okay?
Yeah.
Because just trying, even if you want to translate it, you shouldn't, but lei non è una persona avida, è soddisfatta con ciò che ha, non è felice con ciò che ha o positiva con ciò che ha. That means that it's enough what she has, okay? Cheerful is too much because cheerful is, yeah! No, that is too much, of course. And then we got 9, okay? So 10.
10 I couldn't.
Okay. And you?
Sì.
Is C, rely on. A good friend is someone you can always rely on to help you.
Affidarsi a...
Affidarsi, ma you know what is the word that is coming from rely? The adjective is reliable.
Reliable.
Affidabile. When a person is very reliable. You don't, you can always believe on. You don't believe, you believe in. That's
You
why
trust
it's not
in.
in. Trust in. Bargain doesn't make any sense.
Bargain è peso. Bargain, no.
Bargain is un affare.
Ah.
Puoi fare affari con. Bargain with.
Mm.
This is just connected, even if you don't know the meaning, is connected with the preposition that is following. So now what we are going to do is doing the same exercise, but this is the typical first part of the exam. It's just like this completely. So first of all, we're going to see what we have to do during the exam. Of course, during the exam, you don't have so much time, but if you learn how to face this kind of exercise, then they became just normal routine. Because the problem is not just what you know and what you don't know, is how to face an exercise, what to do before. So what you're going to see in this part of the exam, there are two parts. One is this with all the words, and then you got a test. Okay, so all the tests, they got a number, and you have to fill in with one of those. Of course, you have a separate sheet because you can even write, but you have a separate sheet where you have just to transfer the letter that you choose. Ok?
Sheet e foglio.
Un foglio. Ok, per
Foglio
cui
a
vi
parte.
vengono dati, avete questi due fogli che voi vi metterete, io adesso non lo posso
Uno
mettere
accanto all'altro.
uno accanto all'altro, non lo posso fare perché se lo faccio la visualizzazione in due mi prende, siccome sono dispari, mi prende questo e quella prima, non mi prende questa e quella dopo, per cui io farò un po' di su e giù qui, ma voi lo facciamo insieme. Però avrete questo foglio separato delle risposte dove poi andrete a riportare solamente a riempire la letterina, per cui 0 a... E questa per me è la cosa più antipatica e più a cui bisogna stare attenti. È la più semplice, ma è quella in cui bisogna stare attenti, perché chiaramente altrimenti la risposta si può sbagliare, cioè pur sapendo la risposta potete sbagliare la casellina. Vediamo come affrontare però questo. So the first thing that we suggest you to do is reading the very quickly, just to let you know what is about space junk, what it could be about.
Aliens.
Aliens? Junk. What does it mean, junk?
Salto, qualcosa, junk.
No, be careful. Junk is
Junk.
like, yeah.
Balzo, no.
The car, the space car.
Junk usually is rubbish.
Spazzatura.
Okay. Yes.
Junk.
Have you
junky
ever
food?
heard
No.
like junk food?
Junk
you know
food.
The word junk food.
Junk food. Yes.
Il cibo spazzatura. So space junk means you see the picture that in the space there's so much junk around. Okay. So this is what is about. Okay, that's what I say. So without filling any gaps, quickly read the text to get an idea of what it's about. For each gap, decide what kind of word. So when you're going to fill in the first space,
Mhm.
you have to understand if you need a noun, a verb, an adverb, so that when you're going to choose in the 4 choices, you're looking for example, just for a verb, because you know it's a verb. Then you can just cancel all the other. This is one of the possible way of doing quite quickly. Then study the words either side on the gaps, underlining any possible collocation. But the most important thing to do is try each answer in the gap,
Yeah.
checking whether it fits grammatically. For example, with the collocation, that's it, the collocation, if the following word or the previous word, they fit. The same that we have just done in the previous exercise. For example, rely on. We have on, so probably the other word doesn't fit, even if I don't know exactly the meaning, but I know that with on doesn't fit. And then, as usual, follow your instinct and your listening. Okay?
Yeah.
And then at the end, you read through the completed sentence, checking that everything makes sense. Okay, let's try together. We start to read the text. The first thing that we do, we read the text up to the first paragraph, let's say up to here. And then we became to fill in the various gaps. Okay, Vale, let's try.
The space age began over half a century ago, and ever since then the area just the Earth's atmosphere has been filling up with all kinds of man-made objects that have become as space junk.
Okay, the 0 is put as an example, so you already have it.
Oh.
And you see,
Yes.
you have well, much, lots, and far. And we know that is well, A.
Well,
So the space and age began well over a half a century ago. Okay.
see, yes.
And ever since then, the area just. What kind of word is missing here? And ever since then, the area just the Earth's atmosphere.
Beyond, yeah,
Beyond.
beyond.
It's 1. So
D.
So you think it's D, beyond. That is correct. Very good. Beyond. Oltre.
Because I checked it.
Yes, but remember, you're not lucky. You just made a work on it. So that's a lot of thinking.
Only one.
Behind it. Yeah, so the first one.
Only the first, because
first.
I was in hairdresser, so no other time to do this exercise.
Yeah. Okay, let's go on. The Earth atmosphere, beyond the Earth atmosphere, has been filling up with all kinds of man-made objects that have become a space junk.
Okay.
2.
Known, B.
Yeah, B, known, had made known.
No.
Known as space junk. Very good, super. Okay, let's go on with the items, Ross.
The items up there from old satellites and parts of rockets to hundreds of thousands of pieces smaller than 1 centimeter. All of them traveling at extremely speed.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
The others become known as better. The items up there from all there from all.
3. Abbiamo include. Aspetta, include, sto scrivendo.
Can I
Range.
draw cover?
Include, range.
Can I see the?
Yes,
Text.
sure.
No, so I can do by
On the
myself.
book, on the book, yes.
Of course.
No, vabbè. Include, cover. No. Can you put the text, please?
Sure. So be careful because here,
Range.
yeah, because we have from to.
From to.
So
Range.
from to, what is in from to? It's the range.
Range.
The range. The items up there, yes.
What's the meaning of range?
Can you try to explain,
Yes,
Ross?
is when some yes is like an interval when you
Okay.
yes the different how can I say from when something is
It's a verb.
Is the measure.
It's a verb.
no.
No, it's a noun.
It's a noun.
And it's the measure that is
The measure,
going
yes.
from a beginning point to
range. Okay.
yes,
Okay.
the end point. There you have a range in which you can calculate something. Okay.
In this period,
Okay.
there isn't a verb.
Where the items up there range from all satellites. No, in this case, is considered as this is a verb. So you got range. You got both for verbs, for nouns. A range, and this is the verb in this case. Very good observation. Because of course you have to find out something that is a verb. Actually, the problem is that here they're all verbs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This case.
Yes, in this case. And then
all of them traveling at extremely
speed. So it's something connected with speed. But which is the correct adjective?
A.
High speed.
Yeah.
Yes, is the high speed. You can't say rapid speed, light speed, or fast speed. No, it's just high speed.
Two adjectives. So.
No, high speed in this case.
Yes, it's two adjectives.
Yeah, it's the
reinforce some.
No, there's a particular word that is in grammar. We call it the grade of the adjective.
Okay. The grade. Okay.
Yeah. So these other are all other adjective. Some, for example, fast means just the same, and high is the only one that we can use as a grade. That means to enforce and to give more highlight to the same adjective. Okay. High. Okay, very good. 4. Number 5.
Over the last 5 years, the number of such objects in space is to have risen by 50%.
Okay. Over the last 5 years, the number of such objects in space is to have risen by the 50%. So is what? This is, of course, a participle.
B. Supposed.
What do you think, Rossana?
Is
forse no, estimated.
Is assessed
So
Or
assessed and regarded, they are not correct because the word that is following is not
estimated.
But supposed and estimated, they both can be followed by the perfect infinitive. But the only thing is that is estimated because supposed is for something that should have happened but did not.
Okay.
Estimated is something that has been studied and calculated and then they find out. Okay.
Yes, because in our financial numbers, we say or assessment or estimation or estimated. So
yeah. So
I put this verb in this sense.
Okay, and this has increased the risk. It's
Numero
6. Yes. So now you have an adverb.
Increase, A.
Just one is can be collocated with increased, no other else. So they are all connected with increased. Just one is correct because the other you can't use with the word increased.
I think A.
D.
No, is B. Is B. Greatly increased. Is the only one that we can use with increased.
Why greatly?
Because that is the right word. Because with increase you can say just greatly increased. You can't say largely increased. Don't say.
So
you just say greatly.
Greatly.
This is part of collocation. Yes.
There is no, it's a rule, in a fact.
It's a rule, it's a fact. Yeah, that's it. Why do you put some preposition instead of other when you got a verb or a noun? It's just that
just to know.
It's a convention. Actually, it's a convention like any other languages. Okay, then we got 7. Let's go on, Vale.
International agreement has therefore now been on limiting the amount of new space junk.
Okay, has been, and here we have another past participle. They are all regular, but just one is the only one that can be collocated with agreement.
Can I have a look to the text?
Yes, sure. International agreement has been on
reached. Close.
Ross, do you agree?
Yes.
Yes, it's correct. Reached.
Okay.
Has been reached on. You reach an agreement. All the other words you don't do with agreement, okay? You reach an agreement on.
Reach agreement.
Yeah. Okay, and last one, Vale.
Scientists have also some interesting suggestions for tidying up space.
Yes.
These include using laser beams, giant nets, and even an enormous umbrella-like device to collect teeny bits of junk.
Tiny bits of junk, yes. Very nice.
Have also some interesting suggestions.
Oh, here we have a phrasal. They seem also similar, I know. But
Okay.
just one is going with suggestions.
Can I see the text? The can I see the letters? Okay.
Yes.
I don't know.
It's difficult, this one. You can try it, but I understand that when we are talking about phrasal verb, you know or you don't know.
Yes.
There's no logical way to find out. I can tell you that just one of them collocates with suggestion, but if you don't know, is come up with.
Yeah.
Come up with is the only one that is going. So scientists have also came up with some interesting suggestion. Se ne sono venuti fuori con ok, dei suggerimenti. Hanno tirato fuori, no?
Hanno tirato come up.
Dei
Okay.
suggerimenti, in quel senso, se volete provare a tradurlo. Ma non è caught up with, put up and kept up. It come up. Okay. It's not bad. You did well. You did
I thought put up with, so non...
Yes, it's not so terrible. Okay, let's go on with some practice. This is, of course, training. Now we get to see how is made part 2. So in part 2 of the exam, we have a text with 8 gaps. But there are no sets of words from which to choose. Of course, is many test grammar words like articles, auxiliary verbs, pronouns, preposition, linking expression, for example, despite, and verb forms like would do, as well as wording phrasal verbs, for example, set off, and fixed phrases like in favor of. So what does it mean? That you have to choose only one word in each gap. And be careful of the spelling when you write, because even if you got the word, but you write with a spelling mistake, is considered wrong.
Right.
Okay, so let's try to see and do some exercise to warm up. So we have relative pronoun and linking expressions. Relative pronoun are very important because they are usually connecting to expression, to sentences, and they can be that, when, where, which, who, whose. Those are the most common that we have. And we have to understand when to use one and when another. But just trying to refresh, that is quite generic when we use usually for time expression, where for places, which usually is when we got a choice, who is for people, whose is for possession, and then that we can use to substitute, for example, which and who. We can use also sometimes, not always, that. So that can be both for things, for example, which is for things, who for people, that is for both. Okay?
Yes.
So let's try to do this one and put the right word. Okay, go, Ross.
Okay. In any kind of relative clause, we can use
This is what I just told you.
Who?
It's just, yeah.
Who?
Who?
For people.
To, yes.
Oh, I don't
That
read.
for things.
No.
No.
Whose? No, which?
Which for things.
And
Whose
whose
for possession.
Yeah.
Good.
When for time. And where for places.
Okay. Up to here, very easy. Okay. Let's go on. Go on, Vale.
I don't read the
sorry, because I have to move the. Okay. Do you read it now?
No.
You can move.
Because you can move the windows,
okay,
the little
okay.
windows where we are.
In a defining relative clause, we can also use for people or things that.
Okay.
E.g. the
For
girl.
example. For
example,
the
girl that sang really well. The tree that grew so tall.
Okay, and so that is easy. Now that you know, you tick the sentences, which are correct, and replace the relative pronoun in those that are wrong. Sometimes more than one answer is possible. Okay, let's see. First of all, if they are correct, and then you decide if they are not. Okay.
What does it mean when sometimes more than one answer is possible?
That sometimes you can put, for example, which or that.
That. Okay.
Yes, yes. Okay. So try to do number one, Ross.
Do you remember, Simon, who's used to teach us? No, it's not correct.
Which one is wrong?
Whose?
Whose is wrong? What do you put?
Who.
Who. Perfect. Who. This is who. It's not whose. Okay, good. Vale.
I think that the best time to come is in early August, which we have the celebrations. It's wrong.
It's wrong. And what do you put instead of which?
When.
Yes, super. Okay, Ross.
They invited me to a pop concert, which took place in Rio last month. They invited me to a pop concert, which took place. Where?
You mean instead of which you put where?
Yes.
What do you think, Vale?
No,
I think it's correct.
It is correct. It is correct. Because
it's
which is related to the pop concert, not to where it was taking place. So they invited me to a pop concert, which the pop concert took place in Rio last month. Ok? È lui il quale è il pop.
Yes, so I am wrong. Because
no, it's correct. This one is correct.
Yes, this is correct, but I was wrong.
No,
because
no,
I put where.
Okay, good. Number 4, Vale.
I'm writing in reply to the advertisement who asks for people to help in a summer camp. I'm writing in reply to the advertisement who asks people. No, it's wrong.
So
advertisement, which or that.
Very good, very good. That is number 4. Very good. So who or which? Who is which? Which? Not that. Which is correct.
Which
yes.
is correct. Okay.
I'm writing in reply to the advertisement, which for people to help in a summer camp. Very good. Okay, Ross, number 5.
I met some people there. Which became my good friends. Who?
Or?
So it's that.
Yes. Who or that? I met some people there that became or who became my good friends. Good.
Okay.
6.
It was a period of my life that I had many problems. Allora. It's not correct.
No, it's not. What do you put
Correct.
instead?
When?
When, yes, very good. You got it. Number 7.
It was not until I was 17 that I started writing down all what happened to me every day. Because it's a long sentence, but
yes, but actually, look where you got this
when
connectors instead of where.
Sorry.
Where do you put it? Because here we have that and we have what. Which one are you substituting?
It was not until I was 17 that I started writing down all. Now, what is correct? What happened to me every day? No, is that?
It's not.
That.
Is that? Yes,
Is
all that happened to me.
That happened.
All that happened to me. Yes.
Me. Okay. And that.
That's correct. This one is okay. This one.
Okay.
Okay.
But usually when I see the long sentence.
I know.
No,
but consider that is in this exam, you also have very long text to face.
Okay.
So you have to get used to long sentences. But anyway, they are never, this one is really long. Usually English sentences, they're not so long. No problem. Okay. 8.
Instead of going to a nursery, I went to a school which children learned by playing. Allora, I went to a school. No, which it's not correct.
Okay, what do you
it's
put?
Wrong. I went to a school where?
Yes, very good. Very logical. Yes. 9, Ross.
There are some people whose aim in life is to earn as much money as possible. Okay. And for me, it's correct.
It's correct, yes.
It's correct. It's
correct.
Correct, yes, yes.
Correct.
Pure io sbaglio. The park hotel. Ecco. The park hotel that I found in the guide is now closed, so I stayed at the Central. It's correct.
It's better not to use it.
Not to use that, which?
Which, yes. Which I found in the guide. Very good, girls. Very good. Super. Because if you are training like this, then facing the exercise, the exam, it will be easier, much easier. Because when you are facing a text with all gaps, but with no choice, you know that it cannot be something of your fantasy, but it has to be a proper word that usually is a grammar word. Let's hear now using a relative pronoun without any choice. Just you put the relative pronoun that you think is the correct one. Let's go, Vale.
Melanie Johnson, house is opposite mine, is my favorite neighbor.
Okay.
Allora, Johnson. Relative pronouns. Whose?
Yes, Melody Johnson, whose house is opposite mine, is my favorite neighbor. So this is her house, so whose house is? Okay, Ross?
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
She is a warm and friendly person
Yes.
who always likes to help other people.
Perfect. Who? Yes, person.
In the afternoon, I come home. She often waves and smiles to me from her front garden. She spends a lot of time in spring and summer.
Okay.
In the afternoon, when
Yeah.
I come home, she often waves and smiles to me from her front garden, where she
Yeah.
spends a lot of time in spring and summer.
Super.
In spring and summer.
Super. Okay, Ross.
It has some lovely flowers. She planted herself. And last week she gave some to my mother. It has some, birthday was on Friday.
Yes, always arrive up to the full stop because it's giving you the whole idea of the sentence. Yes.
Okay. It has some lovely flowers. Which that
Which?
she
Stop there.
which
Stop there.
she planted, which she planted herself, and last week she gave some to my mother, whose birthday was on Friday.
Excellent. Yes.
She's always been generous like that. I remember years ago, when I was about 10, she painted a picture for me. Was so lovely that I put which.
Yes, which or even that. That's okay. On
so
my
lovely
bedroom
that I put
wall.
it on my bedroom wall. It's still there.
Very good. Very
it
good.
Is not so clear when I can use or I should use which or that.
So preferable, you have to use which when it's about things and who for people. But sometimes, as is just a connector, you can use that. Actually, if you are not so decisive, use the which or who, because it's much more British. Usually, Italian people, they do use that always.
Yeah.
Yes, everywhere. Yes, everywhere. Even when you don't need anything at all, they put that. That is that. No, just go away. So let's see. I think that at the end of these exercises, you'll have more clearer ideas because you're making a lot of exercise and it's getting into your ear and therefore into your brain. But the more you exercise, the more it has to come naturally to you. You don't have to think too much about it, which you use. Because in this last exercise, you did it very well and you did it straightforward without thinking too much. Because you were, you know, like the exercise is working on you, on your brain. Okay, now some question in part 2 test linking expression, like although or unless. Oh, these are a bit more complicated, but we always talk about linking expression. We don't have just when, etc., but we have all this. You see that?
Yeah.
But when do we use them? Some of them we use as for an addition, like and. I like this and this. Some we use when we have a conditional, like if. Some when we have two contrast ideas, but. Some is for a purpose, a name that we have, and some for a reason. I know that to do an exercise like this is very difficult because they are not put in a context, but it's just a pure, really a plain grammar exercise. But it's useful to understand when to use it and when you don't. Of course, I'm going to help you 90% here because some of them probably you never use it before, or you use it just by reading them, but not by producing. But you know, it's not. It's a very good exercise anyway. If you can, you could write like forming something like this, you know, a grill like this, a chart like this chart, because then you have all the things. So addition, I can use this, 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 this. At the end, they all have the same meaning. So addition. I'm going to try to help you trying to cancel when we find out. Okay, so addition. And then what do you think is the same?
So. No.
So it's not addition.
In addition to.
Of course, in addition to. We got another two.
Owing to.
No.
I don't know the meaning of owing.
Leave it there. Leave it there. We're going to explain when we are going to put it. It's not this the case.
So as to.
No, because this is explaining something. Yeah.
Okay.
In addition. For example, I'm lost as well. Oh, I found one.
As well as.
Yes. As well as.
Is anche.
Anche, yeah.
As well as.
And then we got another one that is in addition. That is.
Even so.
No,
besides.
Besides, oltre a, no? Per cui è in addition sempre. Ok. Then we have some conditional. Oh, conditional, don't think just of if. Because we have so more things that we can add. For example, this, provided that. È una condizione, no? Provided that you're giving me your application form, I will enroll you to the course.
Okay.
Okay?
Sì.
It's something that has to happen before something else is happening. So it's actually a condition. Then something same, but that I'm sure you know it. When I'm going to show you, you are going to.
As conditional. Unless.
Yes, always conditional. That is unless. Unless.
Provide that. Unless.
What's
For
the
example,
meaning?
can you make an example with unless?
Unless I'm not tired,
No, it's a condition. Usually we use with the negative. So I don't let you in unless you pay the ticket.
Ah, ok.
Ok, anche se.
A meno che tu.
A meno
A
che.
meno che. Ah,
Per cui
meno
di
che.
solito segue una frase negativa.
Ah,
They don't allow you to go on holiday unless you finish your job before March. Ok? Unless è una condizione di solito posta al negativo. E poi ce n'è un'altra che è la stessa cosa ma al positivo, che è as long as. Ok?
Quindi segue una frase positiva questa.
Esattamente.
Ah, so unless it is used for negative.
Usually yes.
Ah.
Usually yes. As long as.
As long as.
For example, it's difficult to think like this. An example, as long as you can go there as long as you have finished your washing up.
Ah, ok. In positive.
In positive. You can go there as long as sempre che tu
that.
abbia finito di fare I piatti, ok?
So for
Messo
me,
che tu abbia. We in Italian it's so difficult to translate always in the same way because it's changing in Italian depending on the context that where you are using it. So
as long as.
case, okay. Then we got a contrast, but
In spite of.
No. Yes, in spite of. In spite of is of course a contrast. Where is it?
In the center. No, it's
in spite of. Yes. Then what do you have?
Although.
Although, sebbene, yes.
Despite.
Despite the fact that. Despite the fact that it's a contrast.
It's contrast.
Then you got something else.
Though
is not.
What?
But we have so many. No, though, even though, yes, even though, yes, though is correct. Though,
even though
sebbene.
no.
Okay. Even though? No.
No, non c'è even though. Ah, eccolo.
Yeah.
Sì, anche even though, uguale though, even though.
Though, even though.
Then you have this one, very common.
While.
Or.
Whereas.
Mentre. Sempre, sì, mentre al contrario. Mentre al contrario vuol dire, no? Because, for example, you got even while is mentre like time. I'm working so hard while you are not working at all. But you can also say whereas. She's very tall, whereas her sister is very short. It's the same, okay? And then you got other one that can be in, what else? Is contrast. Even so, yes, very good. Where is it? I'm lost. Even so, okay. And also, the more common that you have, that is, however.
Ecco, sì.
Because there are so many, so sometimes yeah, it's not so easy. However, in spite of, we say in spite of, yes. Okay, so this one also. And yet, e ancora, you didn't finish your homework and yet you want to go out. That's unbelievable. È molto inglese questo modo di dire, eh?
I don't know to use it.
Yeah.
Ancora, come per dire ancora non l'hai finita, nel senso.
No, nonostante tu non abbia ancora finito le cose, ancora vuoi andare fuori. non è facile da tradurre, perché io lo tradurrei in modo completamente diverso per essere un italiano corretto, perché andiamo proprio nell'errore di italiano, no? Se usiamo
Però si dice, che ne so, non hai fatto i compiti e vuoi pure uscire.
Esatto,
Per dire, no?
in aggiunta, no? Però è un
Sì.
contrasto,
Sì.
per cui fa sempre parte dell'idea del contrasto. Questo noi dobbiamo avere bene in testa, del contrasto. Poi abbiamo la purpose.
Purpose in order to?
Yes, of course.
In order that?
In order that. Tutti in order, vanno tutti bene. Then?
Because of?
Which one?
Ah no, reason because of.
Certo.
In case.
No, so as to.
So as to.
So as to. È l'altra purpose.
To.
Poi abbiamo tutte le altre che sono reason. Vediamo se non ne abbiamo saltata qualcuna.
If is a reason.
No.
No, if già l'aveva fatta all'inizio.
C'era, infatti l'avevamo già tolta, era qua, non è stata cancellata da qui.
Ok.
Allora, vediamo. Since è ok, perché
Yes.
ci dà il motivo. Since. Poi abbiamo
Because of.
Because of.
We use a lot.
We use a lot. Yes. Because of.
So.
Then so. Okay.
Due to. Due to the fact that.
Due to the fact
we use
that.
On account of.
On account of. Allora, owing to.
Ecco.
O it's the possession. È il dovere. To owe to. Per cui owing to, dovuto a. Per cui anche qui. Ok.
So I can use
for example, for the debt. When you have a debt, you owe some money. It's written O-W-E and it's a verb. To owe money to somebody. Ok?
Sì.
Owing to. Then of course in case. And we finish. Yeah, we finish. Very good. Brave, anche qui. Questo era. Ma adesso andiamo a trovare quello giusto. Perché qui ci sono, in these sentences written by first candidates, circle the correct alternative in italics. Ok?
Sì.
Questo è bellissimo perché le ha messe tutte because, però uno
Because
è
of.
because e uno è because of. Ok? Dovete scegliere quella giusta.
Ok.
Oh, it's but okay. It's time to go.
Is it? Oh gosh, è vero, dall'altra parte già chi mi aspetta. Oh, scusate. Allora, non mi ricordo se voi avete o non avete questo testo.
Io l'ho ordinato e comunque c'è il PDF, lo posso fare comunque.
Fantastico. Allora,
però ho ordinato anche il cartaceo.
Questo esercizio 5 lo fate voi direttamente.
Che pagina è?
È pagina 15.
Ok.
E anche l'esercizio 6. Attenzione perché potete prendere una qualsiasi delle parole che abbiamo utilizzato qui e anche a volte più di una è fattibile. Voi utilizzate quella che ritenete più giusta e vi fermate qui. Ok? Fate questi due esercizi. Io adesso ve ne do pochi perché dobbiamo ingranare. Una volta finito il primo test, io ve ne darò molti di più di esercitazioni perché dovranno essere proprio automatiche quasi queste esercitazioni. Adesso noi stiamo stiamo spendendo del tempo nel capire come affrontare ogni singolo esercizio, ogni singola prova. Una volta che l'abbiamo capito è solo esercitazione che va. Ok?
Ok.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, girls.
Grazie.
See you. Bye bye.
Ciao, thank you. Bye.
Bye.